Hey guys, I'm Brittany. I'm the kids pastor here at Ignite, and welcome to day 8's devotional for our 10-day devotional leading up to our 10th anniversary. So today I have the opportunity to talk about a very familiar story, being the kids pastor, is that of Noah and his call to build an ark. Now, we are in Genesis, where God has created the world, He's created everything, He's created Adam and Eve, and then we see in Genesis where He has created Adam and Eve, and they have eaten of the fruit, and then evil has entered the world. So in this story, we see more about Adam and his lineage to Noah, and then the Lord saw that there was so much evil in the world that He needed to start over and wipe away the human race that He had created. So Genesis 6:6 brings us to a little bit about Noah and tells us that Noah had found favor in the eyes of the Lord. Verse 9 tells us a little bit more about him, where he says that he was a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. So this is the key that we're going to sit in today. Verse 14, he then commands Noah to build the ark, giving him specific specifications for about how big this ark had to be. And so at the time when Noah was building the ark, he was already about 500 years old, and this ark was going to be humongous. He was commanded to bring animals on with him, as well as his family members and his sons and their wives. So when you think about this was a humongous job that Noah was saying yes to. He had no idea what was going to happen. All he knew was that this is what God commanded him to do. And so he wanted to follow that. So he was very uncertain about what was going to happen. It was going to rain. There was going to be floodwaters for hundreds of days, and it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. And then he just had no idea what was going to happen, but he was willing to say yes to what God was telling him to do. So there's more to the story than the rainbows and the ark and the animals all coming on 2 by 2 and the dove and just everything. There's way more to all of that than what we're seeing. And what I want to focus on is Noah's obedience to God. And it says so many times within this passage that Noah did as God commanded him, or that he was obedient to what God had commanded him to do. And it says that several times throughout the whole story, is that he just kept saying yes, and he just kept doing what God was commanding him to do. So throughout the story, I love this because sometimes we encounter things that seem way bigger than we could ever imagine. And this ark was way bigger of a job than Noah could have ever imagined, but he had no idea what was on the other side once everything was through. So, question for you today: when have you denied the opportunity for God to use you because you thought the job was just too big, that you were scared of failing, and you just don't even know where to go, and so you just you say no and you take the easy road out? But what I'm going to challenge you to do is that it all starts with saying yes. And when we allow God to enter a situation, when we say yes, we're creating that space for Him to do what only His power can do. And we're allowing Him to just kind of enter in to using us for bigger things than we could have ever imagined us to do, just as He did Noah. So what I want to challenge you in today's devotion is to just think about those things that are just really hard, that you've maybe taken a second thought to, and you just don't really know what's on the other side of these floodwaters. But I'm challenging you to say yes. Say yes to the hard things, and say yes to everything God has for you in all of these really hard moments. And I promise you, when you say yes, He's just getting started.